Let's talk about the perception of generative AI tools today and the reality, because there is a huge disparity between what you see on social media and what's actually happening in companies. I can tell you over the last 18 months working with more L&D teams one-on-one and working with organizations that very few are even aware of many generative AI technologies. You can say how many people know ChatGPT. Most people will say, yep. You ask how many people have used ChatGPT. Generally, I find less than 10% have. So what's happening there? Social media is a little bit of an echo chamber where everyone's shouting the same stuff. But the reality of it, the journey of AI's impact for work and also meaningful and practical use cases is going to take time. We are still very early in this, and you're most certainly not left behind. We've got this research here from Oliver Wyman, and I'll put it in the notes wherever you're finding this video. I share this with a number of organizations because I think it illustrates perfectly where we are right now. A lot of people aren't even at individual benefit. Yes, on social media, you see a different story there. Some people are using it, but they're not really seeing, as it says here, the productivity gains that they really want to. They're very gimmicky kind of stuff about creating content faster, creating some images. That's great, but that kind of part is now oversaturated. The AI avatars, creating music, creating blog posts, we all know about that. We've all heard about that for years now. It is a very oversaturated corner of this market. You can see here, most people are learning generative AI tools on their own, whether good or bad. Now, of course, what I would recommend is if your organization is to invest in the fundamentals. Shameless plug for myself. If you want help with that, you can contact me. What you should not do is leave people in your organization to the dark doldrums of Reddit and other sites to find out how to use these tools. Set best practices, get ahead of the game, help people understand the fundamentals so they can make the right choices in the work that they do. Now, I would honestly say, from what I see in the L&D space, many people aren't even here. They're barely aware of most things, and they've barely explored anything. Even the gimmicky stuff, they've barely explored. So that will take time for adoption. What will supercharge that, you could say, is the balance education, giving people the fundamentals. And when I say education, I mean credible education. I don't mean listening to some 19 or 20-year-old showing you all of the different AI workflows and how it's going to put you out of a job and all of this stuff. It's about working as teams, as organizations, to get clear on what are these tools, where could they be helpful, and how could we use them. And before any of that, of course, I have to say this because I'm always saying it, you should forget about tools unless you are really clear on what are the problems you are trying to solve. And in those problems, what are the tasks a part of that potentially you could look to something like generative AI tools. If you're not doing that, if you are not defining those problems, there's no point looking at any technology, any solution. So always define problems first. Don't buy tech first, because you're just going to be asking for trouble. And as we can see here, these are real big aspirations. You've kind of got scaling up and you've got workplace maturity. We may reach these quicker than the time thresholds here, but I think it's going to be really interesting because I don't think anyone is here yet at the moment in time scaling up. It's going to be a number of years, and definitely workplace maturity, probably a decade. So the reason why I'm showing you this is to really put into perspective where we are on this journey. Not everyone is using generative AI tools in their organization. You're not being left behind. Adoption takes time. It all starts with awareness and exploration. So what you can do as a person, an L&D team or a company, is get yourself aware. Spend a couple of hours, maybe a week, maybe 3 to 5 hours a month, understanding what is generative AI technology, how does it work, what are the tools that are sitting there, and what are potential use cases outside of the kind of generic content creation, because that's very much one part of the process. Once you've got that awareness, go off and explore, and you can go on this journey where you'll continue to scale that knowledge, and you will be better positioned to share that in your organization and create all of these reskilling and upskilling programs. So, my friend, hopefully that helps. that give you a dose of realism. Any thoughts, leave them in the comments wherever you are viewing this. I will catch you in the next one.